feel like you'll ever get close to reaching your potential?
No, I know damn well I won't. It's not, do I think? I know. Neither will you. I think that's the ultimate aim of man. We are created in God's image. Now, everybody's got a different image of that, but we're capable of doing anything. We have infinite potential. Our spiritual DNA is perfect, so there's perfection within us. And spirit's always for expansion and fuller expression, never for disintegration. The disintegration we bring about. So spirit's always for expansion and fuller expression. We're spiritual beings. So that perfection is trying to express itself through us. We stop it. It's when we get tuned in and we let it come out. But we could part the seas. We can do anything. We are all powerful. All the power, all the knowledge is 100% evenly present in all places at the same time. So that's within you, within me. There's no limit to what we can do. That's really what I teach.
Yeah.
I teach it. I'll break it down into small bites for a person.
Yeah.
But you...
What's the closest we can get to our potential, do you think? What's possible?
Well, the closest you'll get to your potential is where you are right now.
Yeah.
And then you've got to take and you've got to expand it. You want to do better at what you're doing. Like, you got a great reputation on this show. I think you know that.
Yeah.
But there's all kinds of people who've never heard of it.
Of course. Lots of people.
Yeah.
I want the world to hear it. Yeah.
Well, then, there you go. You want the world to, well, how will you do that? There's your opportunity to develop more of your potential. How will you do that?
Yeah.
How can you get more millions?
Yeah.
You know?
You got to use my imagination.
You do. That's where you're going to start.
Imagination, will,
Yeah.
tuition, everything.
Yeah. So you got to learn how to utilize those, how to develop them. So you work at it every day. I mean, you're in many people would say you're in an enviable position. I think I am too, because you're talking to people who know quite a bit about whatever they're doing. So you're going to learn all the time.
It's the greatest gig.
You're in school every day.
It's the greatest
You go to
gig.
work, you're in school.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Very grateful.
Tiffany, you're getting an education probably you couldn't.
She's been here for, what, 3 years now? 3.5 years?
wow.
And she's grown tremendously. She's listened to everyone.
Our marketing director, you would love to meet her. She is Mikey Stellar. She was Mikey Euler. She got married since she's joined us, had 2 children too. She was a nanny when she started to work with us. Now she's our chief operating officer and our marketing director.
Wow.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. She had never really went to school, but she came in. She'd be something like you. I mean, you're getting exposed to great information all the time.
Yeah.
And Tiffany, you got the same potential as I got.
Yeah.
You know, you look different, you sound different, but we're exactly the same. You see? I teach that in a seminar. I'll say, like, if I asked you, you'd probably tell me you're black. You know, if I asked somebody else, they'd probably tell me you're black. The truth is you're not. And they tell me I'm white. The truth is I'm not. My shirt is white. If you ever saw a white person, you'd probably scream and run. My God, they're white. You know, I don't know if I've ever seen a black person. Why do they say we don't see with our eyes, we see through our eyes? We've been programmed to see black. And you're not black. You see, I think your shirt's black, isn't it?
Yeah, that's pretty black.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you're not the color of the shirt.
Yeah.
So why do we say Tiffany's black and Bob's white? Because we're programmed to see that. Now, if we're seeing something that isn't there when we look at another person, how many other times do we look at see something that's not there? That's where our perception has to be shifted.
Yeah.
We're all exactly the same. Now, you're not too tall, you're a different shade, and you're a different gender. So you say, well, you're nothing like Bob. You're exactly like Bob. It just doesn't appear that way. But the truth is very rarely in the appearance of things. There's so much we can learn. And school's not teaching us. School's not doing the job.
What's the thing you feel like you haven't learned yet? 85 years old right now, is that what you said? 80?
I'll be 85 next Friday.
Wow.
A week Friday, yeah.
You're very young. Happy early birthday. Yeah.
There you go.
So what's the thing you feel like you still haven't learned?
Oh, well, like everything I'm teaching, I only know a bit of it.
Oh.
You know, and I don't know all there is to know about our higher faculties. I don't know all there is to know about perception or the will or reason. There's so much I don't know of what I'm doing. So I study every day. I want to learn more. So I've got to go to somebody that knows more, you know.
Yeah.
I study a lot of Thomas Troward's work. He's a wonderful author. He wrote the Edinburgh Lectures in Mental Science, the Dory Lecture in Mental Science, the Law and the Word, Bible Mystery, Bible Meaning. He was a great author. You know. And there's a woman, Genevieve Behrend. She wrote Your Invisible Power. She was Troward's only student. She went and studied with him from 1912 to 1914. And it cost her $20,000. That must have been an enormous amount of money back then. But she was his only student. And she wrote a book, Your Invisible Power. It's a great book.
Your Invisible Power?
Your Invisible Power.
Okay.
I will send you
Check
a
it out.
copy.
Yeah,
I will
please
send
do.
you a copy. It's a great book.
What's your top 3 recommended books for people of all levels?
Well, that's not one of them, but I will. That is,
yeah.
maybe it should be.
Think and Grow Rich.
Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah.
As Man Thinketh by James Allen.
Uh-huh.
Are you familiar with that?
Yep.
Such a great book.
Yep.
And U Squared by Price Pritchett.
U Squared.
Yeah, it's a little book. You familiar with it?
Not sure. U Squared.
Oh, you'd
Okay.
be sure if you knew it. If you had read it, you'd be sure. It's a great book.
Okay.
Absolutely. There's 35 pages. Every page is better than the last page.
Wow.
Every page is dealing with a new subject. And
I
they're
gotta get that one.
mind-boggling.
I gotta get that one too.
I'll send you that.
You'll
and
send me your top favorites.
I'll send you the Invisible Power.
I want to talk about money for a moment, because you mentioned how you were making $4,000 something dollars a year. Your expenses were $6,000, I think, something
Yeah.
like that. And then you started making
No,
$14,000.
my expenses run $6,000. I owed $6,000.
You owed $6,000.
I owed everybody that I knew.
And you were making around $14,000 a year after that, shortly after
No,
that.
I went from earning
a month, so a month.
$4,000 a year to $14,500 a month.
Exactly.
Now, if you annualize that, that was $175 a year. So I went from earning $4,000 a year to $175. I hadn't earned $175 that year. I got it up to $14,500 a month. So if you annualize
got
it,
it.
that's a change. Phenomenal change.
Is it possible for anyone to go from poverty level to extremely
Absolutely.
financially successful?
Absolutely. I think earning money is one of the simplest things I ever learned. And it's one of the most misunderstood things. Wealthy people historically have always had multiple sources of income. They don't have one. They have many.
Yeah.
I was cleaning floors. I thought the answer was work harder. Because I really wanted to earn some money.
Yeah, of course.
And I thought it was all important. Today, my attitude towards money has changed dramatically. But I thought the answer was get another office to clean. Well, I was working so hard, I passed out on the street. I would have been maybe 27, 28. I literally passed out on the street. I was working so hard. I came to, and there's a great big cop looking at me. I was laying there. It was scary. There was a group of people around me. I saw lights flashing. Then I saw a couple of guys in uniform with a stretcher. And it was scary. I had passed out. I guess they thought I had dropped dead. I had a heck of a time getting away from them, but I did get away. They didn't take me in the hospital. I talked them out of it. And I got away, and I got thinking, I'm not doing this right.
Working harder, working more hours is not the way.
No.
Yeah.
In fact, Napoleon Hill wrote that in Think and Grow Rich. He said, if you are one of those people who believe that hard work and honesty alone will bring riches, perish the thought, it is not true. Riches, when they come in huge quantities, never come as a result of hard work. They come, if they come at all, in response to definite demands based upon the application of definite principles and not by chance or luck. So you got to find a demand and fill it, but you got to follow definite principles to do it.
Wow.
In other words, it's got to be in harmony with the law. You got to give more than you get. If you're trying to get, forget it.
Yeah.
Well, I got by myself and I thought, I'm doing something wrong. I was earning more money, but here I'm passing out. This is not normal. And it's like a little voice in my head said, if you can't clean all of them, don't clean any of them. So I got all dressed up. People now accuse me of sleeping in my suit. I wouldn't take a suit off. Didn't matter where I was. Because I knew the cleaners were tired, and I would go around. I got other people cleaning offices. Mm-hmm. And I knew pretty well where they'd be. So I'd drop around, I'd bring coffee and donuts, and I would drop in and I would talk to them about goals. And then I'd go to the next person. But I always was dressed up because I knew how tired you get. And if I was in working clothes, they'd expect me to help them so they could finish and go home.
Interesting.
But when I had shiny shoes and a suit and shirt and tie, they didn't expect me to help them clean. So I'd go on to the next place and then the next place. And that's when I started to open offices. Mm. I went from Toronto to Montreal to Boston to Cleveland to Atlanta to London, England.
And you hired cleaners?
Everywhere I went.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had people cleaning.
What should someone think about if they're struggling financially right now, or they feel like they've been struggling for many years, and it feels like they're just surviving week after week, month after month. They're not sure how to get to that kind of sense of freedom for at least a 6-month runway or beyond. What should they start thinking about?
Do you know what you've just described? I believe the majority of people are living that way.
Yeah.
The majority. Now that's rather sad, but I think it's true. And it's because we only have one problem in the whole world, and that's ignorance. They're living in ignorance. They don't know that what they're doing is going to keep them where they are. And they keep doing it because they don't know how to change. They're overwhelmed with the debt. People are saying, I need the money. They haven't got it. They want to take their family on a vacation. They don't have the money to go. So they may borrow it and go anyway. Now they got more debt. They have to understand that they don't have to live that way. Mm. I wrote a book called You're Born Rich. The truth is you are. Most people are just a little short of money, but you are born rich in potential. Anybody can go to our site, go to bobproctor.com. You can download the book, You Were Born Rich, free. It won't cost you a cent. And chapter 2 is How Much Is Enough. It's described very well how to get out of debt. You got to create a debt repayment program where it's all done automatically. Mm-hmm. And then you focus on prosperity. You've got to have a financial goal. You've got to work toward it. And you've got to understand that you can earn more than you're earning. And wealthy people don't have one source of income. They have more than one. I was earning money all last night while I was sleeping. Yeah. You can actually earn more money when you're sleeping than you can spend when you're awake. Yeah. You know, it sounds like a cute line, but it's true. There's no end to what we can earn. If you are not getting information from someone who is already wealthy, then you're probably getting information from the wrong people. Most people ask their brother-in-law, or the guy next door, or the girl they know, how do I earn more? Hell, if they knew, they'd be earning it. They don't know. And most people talk to people that don't know. Carlyle put it very well. He said he did not believe in the collective wisdom of individual ignorance. Mm. And that's where most people are getting it, from people that don't know any more than themselves. I think you have to go. That's why these seminars are so important today. Yeah. People have the opportunity to go and learn. Most people won't pay to go. I tell people, listen, you invest in this, it'll probably be, borrow the money to do it. It's probably the last time you'll ever have to borrow money. Yeah. Our seminars are not raw. It's not nothing. Our seminars teach people about themselves. Mm-hmm. It's like when Bill Goff said, if I want to be free, I got to be me. I'm thinking, I better know who me is. I didn't know who me was. I was doing a lot of things. I was doing them right, and I was earning money, but I didn't know who I was. I started to study me. Mm. And the more I know me, the better I know you. You only have to study yourself. You'll know what everybody, because we're all the same. Yeah. It's our behavior that's different, our results that are different.
I heard a friend of mine, Dean Graziosi, I don't know if he coined this or someone else said it, and he said it from someone else, but he said, those that pay attention. And when you invest in yourself, you're paying attention to
I never heard that before, but that is the truth.
Those that pay attention. But if you don't pay for it, you're not going to pay as much attention. If you pay more, you'll pay more attention to learn.
I had an aunt and uncle who were as poor as church mice. I mean, they just didn't have anything. And they had a whole house full of kids. And I used to drop by their house periodically. I was doing very well, and I was teaching seminar. And I remember it was around Christmas time, and he was rushing around trying to get credit cards from some big stores so they could buy presents for the kids.
Yeah.
And I said, you know something? He said, never mind, next year will be different. I said, you know something? Next year is going to be exactly the same as it is this year, because you never change you.
Wow.
I said, you should get into the seminars and learn something. I know something you don't know. Well, they came to the seminar. He got paid every 2 weeks. So that meant 3 times a year, I think he'd get paid 3 times, maybe 4 times a year. He'd get paid 3 times in a month. That one pay was extra because they were budgeted for 2 pays. I made them pay to come to it.
Wow.
Something said I made them pay. And I think they thought I should have comped them into it. But you know, Mark thanked me, my aunt, I don't know how many times that I charged them. She said, we wouldn't have kept coming. I didn't even know what you were talking about. I was running seminars, it was 7 evenings from 7 to 10. It was running over a series of nights years ago. And she said, I wouldn't have kept coming. But she said, because we paid, I came.
Of course.
He's right. If they pay attention. That is so true.
That's it.
And if they don't,
You're not going to be, you're not going to care. When you hear something you don't like, this is not for me.
That's
Let me get
right.
out of here. I got something better to do.
Yeah.
Especially in LA, I want to go to the beach. This is too hard work.
Yeah.
It's confronting my ego. I don't need this.
I'm firmly convinced if a person doesn't understand a paradigm is nothing but a multitude of habits. They're programmed into your subconscious mind to control your behavior. It's got nothing to do with how smart you are. It's got nothing to do with what your formal education is. It's got nothing to do from which side of the tracks you come from. It has to do with your paradigm. The paradigm is a program in your subconscious mind. It's both genetic and environmental that's controlling your behavior. Everyone that can hear my voice knows how to do better than they're doing. And they may wonder, why don't I do it? It's because you're programmed to do what you're doing.
Yeah.
And until you change the program, nothing's going to change. Paradigm has to be changed.
I love that. What would you say are if you could share 3 key habits for people that if they want to continue to grow every day, be more prosperous, be more abundant, happier, joyful, healthier in their life, what are 3 key things, habits every day, not talking about morning routine, but just overall habits every single day? What should people be focusing on consistently?
They should study every day.
Study.
They should have a mentor, someone that has already accomplished what they dream about. They might not even know the person, but they could get introduced to them and ask them, what are half a dozen things I should do every day?
Yeah.
Ask them. They know. Most people are getting advice from people that don't know any more than themselves.
Yeah.
And the third one, you've definitely got to have a goal, and when you write it, you've already got it intellectually. So you operate intellectually, emotionally, and physically. Well, your intellectual mind, the second you decide on it, you've got it. It tells you in the Bible, before you speak, I'll hear you. It's because the thought always precedes the word. The second you get emotionally involved, you've got it emotionally.
Yep.
You've got it intellectually, you've got it emotionally. It's only a period of time till you got it physically.
Be, do, have, yeah.
That's right. But the have comes in a period of time.
So it's not overnight?
Every seed has a gestation or an incubation period.
Yeah.
When a woman gets pregnant with a child, it takes 280 days.
Yeah.
The husband doesn't come home a month later and say, come on, where is it?
Right.
He waits, as James
Right.
Allen said, as one who understands. He understands there's a gestation period. Where I come from, if you plant a seed for a carrot, it takes approximately 70 days for it to manifest. All physical seeds have a gestation or an incubation period. We know that now, but we didn't always know that. We weren't always aware. No one knows what the gestation period is for a spiritual seed, and an idea is a spiritual seed. But we do know that it operates by the same laws. And the laws of the universe are precise. They can be studied.
Yeah.
They can be understood. We operate by law. Our life is governed by laws. Like we know it's going to get dark tonight. We don't wonder if it is.
Yeah.
You know when the tide goes out, it's coming back. Winter never follows winter. We know these things. That's all expression of law. Well, when we bring our life into harmony with the laws, we're going to enjoy more of life.
Yeah.
If we fight it, we're going to lose.
Yeah.
You know?
This is amazing. What is something that you are proud of that most people don't know about you?
I don't really know. I spend all my time thinking of how to teach this, you know.
Yeah.
I'm proud of our company.
Yeah.
I'm proud of the people I work with. Proud of my family. I just love what I do. I just love it so much. I think it's such a shame when people don't study.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because,
That's your first habit, yeah.
well, there's so much about us that we don't know. And we can do anything. Life is pretty special.
It's amazing.
Oh, it really is.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Do you have any fears?
Oh, I have lots of fears, yeah. I mean, you fear anything you don't know, but you don't let them control you.
Yeah.
You know, I think someone said that courageous people don't have any fears. Eddie Rickenbacker said there's no courage without fear.
Mm-hmm.
Courage gets you to face the thing you fear. So I would have fears. Anytime I go to do anything that I've never done, I'll be afraid, but that doesn't stop me.
Yeah.
In fact, I call that hitting a terror barrier, you know.
A terror barrier.
A terror barrier. That's, you got to, like, you get a new idea. Let's suppose a person's got an idea, they're going to quit their job and start their own company. That's an exciting idea. They're intellectually involved with it, that's all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they can play with that all they want.
In their mind,
Nothing's ever going to happen because it's just intellectually. They take the idea and they get emotionally involved with it. Now all hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
They hit the terror barrier.
Ooh. I start to feel the fear.
Ha. And if you don't go through the terror barrier, where do you go? You're right back into safety. Bondage, and that's where most people live. Because they don't know how to do it. They don't know where the money's going to come from. They don't know where the help's going to come from. I heard one time a good thing when the Maharaji was going to take TM to the world. One of his advisors said, well, where's all the money going to come from? He says, wherever it is right now.
Wow.
I love that, because that's where the money's going to come from. So when people hit this fear because they haven't got the money, they don't know how, they want to realize the way is already here. If nothing's created or destroyed, if all the power is 100% evenly present in all places at the same time, everything we've got it right here. It's right here. We just don't understand it. So you hit this terror barrier. If you don't go through it, you're toast.
Yeah.
So
You always stay in your comfort zone. You'll never be able to grow and
yeah. So
expand.
if something doesn't scare me, I know I'm not growing.
It's something that, as an athlete, or did you play sports growing up at all?
Not a lot, no.
Some recreational stuff, yeah. As an athlete, I was in pain almost every single day. Our coaches would push us to a limit that we didn't want to go to.
Yeah.
They wouldn't hurt us, where we'd be broken bones, but it was painful. I'd much rather be laying on the couch, playing video games or whatever it is, having fun. But that pain threshold, breaking through that pain barrier and discomfort always made me feel a little more confident in myself. Like, wow, I was able to do that. I didn't think I could push that far, but now I can do a little more tomorrow. And doing that every day over years is conditioning me to want pain every single day in a healthy way.
That's where the coach played an integral role.
Yeah, huge.
The coach is the mentor, and that's what they play. And I think if you have the right coaching for a period of time, then you said, now,
It's in me.
you see, it's part of you now.
me.
Well, that's where it is. It's part of me. Like, fear would never stop me. In fact, if it doesn't scare me, I know I'm probably not going in the right direction.
Yeah.
Should
we face a terror barrier every day? Is it too much to do it every day?
No, I don't think so.
Is it helpful if we're looking for things that scare us every day?
Well, yeah, you should be going that way, and you'll realize after you go through it, you step through fear into safety. But you've got to understand too, what you're doing is you're getting emotionally involved with an idea.
Yeah.
You're changing the paradigm. Now, even when you go through the terror barrier, the fear doesn't leave because the paradigm hasn't changed. It takes a period of time for them to form the new paradigm. So the fear is going to be there for a while.
Until you feel like, oh, this is my new comfort zone.
That's right.
I've broken through this. Now this is the new norm. I feel comfortable.
I refer to it as X. X. I said, X, X, X. And the Y is the new idea. And the Y doesn't mix with the X. You get the Y intellectually, the X is the conditioning. And the Y won't mix with the X. So that sets up a foreign vibration, which we call fear. Well, when you break through the terror barrier and you finally eliminate the fear, the Y becomes the new X.
And then it's Y.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it becomes a new X and the conditioning's still there. It's just on a higher level.
Oh.
Yeah.